Like, I really don't understand sometimes. Like, how can people expect to have good things after they have made for a really long time bad decisions, bad habits, bad behavioral patterns and stuff, and then they expect good things to happen like that? Like, just do you guys like comprehend that thing? Because there are people who have been continuously doing good things for a really long time. They are already in line as well, expecting good things to happen to them. There are also good things happening to them already, but also they want more of it because they are disciplining themselves for a really long period of time. So how do you guys, the people who try to be a player with girls, or girls who are trying to be having who try to keep too many options and stuff, and then they, after a certain period of time, about 5 years, 10 years, then they instantly realize like, oh shit, we don't have a good person in our life, we don't have good friends in our life. Of course you will not have it. Now again, you have to put that amount of time that you put on wrong things, on wrong habits, on wrong behavioral patterns, on doing wrong things to make it even better. Maybe you have to put double time in it, you have to do double shift on it, and then you can expect good things, good people, good surroundings in your life. Like how, like, I just don't understand how those people can expect those things. I mean, God is generous, but not generous to give things to devil mindset. Like, come on, like, just understand from this perspective. Like, there are people, there are not naive, but there are kind people. There are people who didn't want to play, but you played that person, and now you keep doing those things for a period of time, and then after then you got played by someone even bigger player, and then now you are in an awe moment. You're like, oh no, this is how it feels, like I should have not done it. And then you start to change it, and now you expect good things to happen, but it's not happening to you. Of course, like, do you realize that, like, the person that you played just once, who never played anyone in their life, who had genuine interest in you, who had genuine love for you, who had genuine, like, care for you, right? And you played that person knowing that you are doing it, and then you expect like, I'm sorry, and then you feel like because you said sorry, then you deserve good things to happen to you. No, no, it's not gonna happen. That's period, right there. You have to suffer for what you did. You have to suffer for it. I've been around people my whole life. My mom is professor. My dad is a teacher. What? I've been around people my whole life. My mom is a teacher. My dad is a professor. My grandma, my aunt, they are teacher. My uncle is a professor. I come from a teaching, uh, what do you call that? Teaching profession family. So I have been around people older than me for almost my whole life. I've been traveling as well since I was a kid. To study to good school, I have to travel every day. Every morning, I have to wake up at 5, catch a train from small town at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then reach at my school at around 7. And my school starts at around 7:15, 7:20. Right, like, that's the struggle that I did for more than a decade. And that's how I learned. I used to, in trains, I used to meet so many people, middle class people, who have good behavioral patterns. They used to work, they used to provide for their family. They never drank in their life, they never did anything wrong in their life. I also met, on the contrary, people who drink, even though they are trying to provide, but they cannot have that mental capacity to handle that burden, because they never learned to be with themselves. They were studying, then they turn to 18, and then 20, 21, 23, they get married, and then they start to have kids within a year and a half, and then you don't even have time for yourself. And when you had it, you were not that grown up, you didn't have that much of exposure with people to understand, to learn those habits, those behavioral patterns, those understanding about the world, how world works, how a person's nature, how like what kind of different people are there in the world with different mindset, with different behavioral patterns, all those things. You never figured that out, and then you are raising a family. Of course, you will be hard. It will be hard for you to handle that burden, and because of that people get involved in drinking, doing certain things like going to a prostitute or something like that, because they are not satisfied with their woman, because they never sat with themselves and never discuss with themselves that these things are wrong and I need to have discipline over those things, and put their mind on a discipline pattern, on a control pattern by themselves, not with any therapy or anything. It's everything you against you. Because right now I can have a, a what do you call that? Right now I can have a urge to sleep in the moment. But is that right? Is that right for me? And maybe in some other people's perspective, sure. So tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. Tomorrow I'm gonna have the urge again. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna have the same urge again. Tomorrow evening I'm gonna have the same urge again. So that person is left now. Now I have to have another one. It's just constant thing. Like it's just eating, right? Like you have to stay constant on a behavioral pattern in order to understand. I'm not saying that just stay one lane. Try to switch lane as well. Try to sleep with one woman and see if you're craving another one again on the same next day, on the another day. Then that's a wrong thing. Because if you can control your mind, if you are taking a shot right now of a drink of a shot like an alcohol shot, and then you cannot control yourself when you're drinking another one, right there, you don't have a control up here. I eat Nutella as well. I'm not saying I don't eat it, but that doesn't mean I eat it every day. Eat it in a proportionate manner. Like after eating this, if I crave another one, I will not eat it because I'm trying to discipline my mind. I'll go to bed. Now, this kind of behavioral pattern, this kind of understanding, this kind of controlled nature on self, not to on anyone else. But if you cannot even control, if you can't even emit control on your own self, then how can you expect to teach those things to other people around you? Like, there's no point of you doing that, because then what you're teaching them is like you're teaching them to have those wrong habits, the wrong mindset, the wrong behavioral patterns as okay. Like those things are not okay, but because you cannot control it, you trying to put on other people that it's okay because you want acceptance for your wrongdoings, that it's okay. Do you see that? Like that's a that's a culprit mindset. Come on now. So that no, because you cannot control yourself to sleep with 100 women, you are trying to make that as an acceptable thing, and that's what's going on in the Western world, right? Like people drink, people get fucked up, and then they fuck, and then they wake up the next day morning all feeling lazy, and then they're like, ah, shit, I should have not done it, in regret, and then next weekend again the same shit. It's a cycle, isn't it? It's just like people just try to convince themselves as this is me. I don't want to change. Guess what? Why? You know why? Because it's tough as a motherfucker. Because you are not ready to accept your shitty behavior, your shitty habits, and your shitty mindset. Because you cannot control this thing. That's it. The whole body is through here. Everybody knows that. And because you cannot control it, you're making excuses. And then you're trying to put it on the society, on the people, that please accept my this things. And you try to make it even louder, because evil is louder always. Truth is quiet. Is simple. It's truthful, even if it hurts the most to the evil. They are just relaxed. They are like, that is wrong. And then evil is gonna be like, oh no, it's not wrong, because I was feeling that way, because I didn't like myself, because I like that person too much. So what? I just slept with one. Maybe I just slept with 100. Maybe I just slept with 10. Maybe I drank too much. It's so what? I like drinking. Like sometimes I really, it gets so funny to me. Like people, do they even listen to themselves what they're talking about, or they just say whatever that comes out of their mouth? It's like, come on now, time. Like people sometimes. This is why, like, even at such a very young age, like I write a lot. I'll put this screenshot in there. Like I never. I didn't want to start this thing because like already a lot of people are trying to give advice online and stuff like that. But whenever I see advices and stuff like this, people don't really say the clear picture. And that's why I was like, I need to say this thing. Like, I'm not here to judge anyone, but I'm here to make you a better person. Because what you're doing is this: you're making all these mistakes, right? Like, you are trying to learn all these mistakes, but really those mistakes are already, you know that those mistakes are wrong. And then you're going for a really long period of time in order to figure that out, just a simple equation, which is good or bad. Whatever you're doing were bad, and you know it since beginning, but you didn't control your mind. And then you started doing all those things in a repeated manner, and you stayed in the same repetitive environment of people as well who are doing the same thing, who agreed with you, with your wrongdoings, with your wrong behavior, with your wrong mindset. And then you accepted that thing, but then you went out in a real world where, I mean, you're already in the world, but what I mean real world is, mean, where there are good people, where they are setting their boundaries really clear. Like, when you want something, like you want a great friendship from good, great people with great mindset, or great partner, you want them, right, away from the shitty people. Because shitty, what people do is, like, they keep on switching things, and you cannot have consistency in your life. And then you move on to another lane, which is a really good one, and then you are like, oh, people don't accept me, this and that. Honey, of course they won't. You get my point? Why would they not? Why would they accept you? Because you need to work on yourself. You just cannot show up in from the whole mud, in a whole, like, all dirty and shit, and then come in a people with all, like, good dress up, who are who have maintained their life for a really long period of time, and then you show up in their life as messed up, and then you think that they will take you in. Like, what do you think? Like, they're stupid or something? They will take you in if you show them the willingness that I'm ready to control it, I'm ready to do whatever you say it. But again, age factor for everybody. So let's just keep one thing simple, as sorry, clear as crystal clear. Clear as crystal clear. Clean as crystal clear. No, hold on. So, you get my point. Crystal clear. A woman's age is in the beginning, 18 to whatever you guys want to count it up, like 29, 30, whatever. For a man, like, I'm not saying that means those guys who are like from 18 to 29, they're allowed to sleep with whoever they want or how many they want. I'm not saying that. I'm completely, I would not say against it, but I don't like it personally. I never did it. So it's not good, because you're giving up your energy as well. But for women, it's completely opposite. They are taking their energy, and if they have wrong people in their life, like wrong guys in their life, they're taking wrong energy, they're taking wrong traumas from them into it themselves, which is the worst thing on the planet. And that's why there are wrong mindset, wrong habits, wrong behavioral pattern, wrong thinking, negative mindset. All these things are getting more and more cultivated into women who were really good in the beginning. But what happened was all this, mixed up of wrong guys in their life, that they put their energy into them, into these little girls, and then they turn into a bad person, or bad mindset, or bad behavioral patterns in their life. They're not bad person. I didn't never I In the whole conversation, I never said these people are bad. What is bad is that they are not able to control this, because they never learn that this is the most important, not just the part, but most important thing in the whole entire universe. That's all. So if you are not able to do that, then you need to sit down with yourself, have a conversation. Doesn't matter your age. I had it with myself. I always used to have it. Like, I'm always talking to myself. Like, if I'm eating Nutella, then how many should I eat? And if I'm eating more, then I have to work out tomorrow more. Not because that I have to, not because that I'm not in a good shape or something like that, but it's because I'm showing discipline to myself. I'm showing control to myself. That because I already know Nutella is not good for my health. Then if I'm eating it, then I need to be even more healthier in order to be balancing out for myself. And that's called controlling your brain, controlling your habits, controlling your behavioral patterns. I hope I make it clear. Maybe I will just put this as a raw conversation with myself, which I always have it in my mind. Because I used to write, I write a lot as well. I'm not used to, I'm still writing a lot, but thought like instead of showing that writing, which like instead of writing the whole thing down, which is like maybe, you know, jumble around in different notes, I just putting in the whole video in terms of habits, mindset, and behavioral patterns, and understanding people's nature and stuff like that, right? So I was like, why not just put it in a video and maybe uh, help people. So yeah, that's one of the video that I'm making. Maybe I'll cut it and put it in a TikTok and stuff as well in order to promote it. But yeah, that's my mindset. 27 years old. I always had this kind of mindset. I've always disciplined myself. I always seen woman as the greatest human being on the planet. Of course, men are as well. But the way these days women are getting treated is not fair. Also, the way men are getting treated is not fair. All this comes from the root cause is not controlling this. Because what's happening is that good people, they don't much argue. Bad people, not bad people, bad behavioral patterns and bad mindset and bad habit people, what they're doing is that because they are not in a good environment, or they cannot control their mind and they cannot move on to the good environment, they are just trying to, push the negative mindset and all those things, negative stuff out onto society, and trying to get acceptability for their wrongdoings, for their inability to control their mind, their habits, and their behavioral patterns. That's all that's happening. Period. No one on this planet is a bad person. That's all. Peace. Now let's just for myself to have a conversation with myself. I said, what's that?